Test, test.
Well, friends, Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you with us. We're going to begin again. Oh, this is like school. Everybody's in the back of the bus. Okay. It's fine. You brave souls in the front. I see you.
You get extra points.
We are going to begin. We're going to invite you to take a breath. There's a lot of moving around, trying to get here. We hope you picked up one of our prayer books. We have different versions of the same prayer book. If you have a prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah is the name, and you see two different page numbers, we are following the page number in blue brackets. Follow the page number in blue brackets. So our large print prayer books and some of the other ones, if you see some of the ones that are thinner that just have Shabbat, if you see 2 page numbers, you're following in blue brackets. Okay? Let's turn to page 129. We have our friends here to help lead us. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Page 129.
Dodili vanilo haroe vashoshanim dodili vanilo haroe vashoshanim dodili mizotola midha midbar mizotola midha midbar dodili vanilo haroe vashoshanim dodili mekuteret morulevona dodili dodili vanilo haroe vashoshanim dodili vashoshanim dodili.
Yafeh, nice way to begin. Before we continue and light our Shabbat lights, I'm going to invite you to turn to someone perhaps you do not know and share your name. Introduce yourselves. Wish a Shabbat Shalom. You can get up and walk a little bit. You can... Beautiful. We all met somebody new. Thank you for doing that. Let us turn again to page 120. We light our Shabbat lights and we bring God's light into this space. We're going to ask Harmon, Mistia, Henry, and Emira to please come forward. Right over here, friends. You can light our candles and share the blessing.
Can I light them now?
Friends, we'll ask you to rise as you are able. We turn to the bottom of 123. Henry's going to come forward and share a kiddush, the blessing over the wine, with a kiddush a cup from his grandfather when he was 13 years old.
Show be'ahava uvratzon hizlanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemigra'ei kodesh zecher tziat mitzrayim kevanu Tanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amim V'Shabbat Kodshecha Be'ahava Uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Oy, oy, oy. You did good. You can put it down. All right. Shabbat shalom. You go back with your family. May be seated. I'm going to be seated myself. So, where do we go from here? We're going to continue on 138 and 139. Our prayer is Lecha Dodi. We welcome the Sabbath by inviting the Sabbath bride into our midst, into this space with us. We celebrate the joy of and the peace of Shabbat together. 138, 139, we continue with the first 5 stanzas. After the 5th one, we jump to the very last one. At that point, our custom here is to rise. We face the open doors in the back of our sanctuary, and symbolically, we welcome the Sabbath bride into our midst.
Adodi,
Adoti,
Katkala,
Katkala,
Kadesh Shabbat, Kabbalah, Chadodi, Krat Kala, Shabbat, Kabbalah, Shamor Bezachor Benevor Echad, Ishmianu El HaMiruchad, Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad, V'Shemo Tiferet V'Nitila, V'Chadodi, Krat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Kabbalah, V'Chadodi, Krat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Kabbalah, V'Krat Shabbat, Lechu B'nelcha, Ki Mekor Habracha, Merosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof Ma'aseh B'machshavat Tefila, V'Chadodi, Krat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Kabbalah, V'Chadodi, Krat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Kabbalah, Mikdash, Melech, Ir Melucha, Umitzei, שלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לקחת אותי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה, לקחת אותי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. שלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי השלום, שלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, מלאכי השלום, לקחת אותי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה, לקחת אותי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה.
We remain standing as we are able. We turn forward to 146.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Ahavat Olam, page 150.
Yisrael. Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta al kein Adonai Eloheinu eshochteinu u'pkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה באהבה אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע שמע ישראל אדוני Eloheinu Eloheinu Adonai echad. Shema Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu Adonai echad. Adonai echad. Baruch Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam 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 va'ed. Shema Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu Adonai echad.
May be seated. 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We'll continue with Michamocha on page 158.
האלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, משה ומרים, זה לי, הנו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Page 160.
השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. Ashkivenu l'Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Ve'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim Ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha v'tachneinu be'esa tova milvanecha v'hoshienu v'emad shemecha
Page 162.
Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat V'kadashei sheni Shabbat Kulam yisperu ve'yitangu mituvecha Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Ve'ashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidasho Shabbat Emdat yamim otzil karata Shabbat Zecher lema'aseh v'reshit Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat Yismechu b'malechutecha Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat.
We continue now with the tefillah section of the service, page 164. We rise in body or in spirit as we are able, page 164.
La 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 ya la la ya la la ya la la ya la 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 Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach Tzilatecha. Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach. Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach. Ufi Hagid Tzilatecha. Ufi Hagid Tzilatecha. Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach. Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach. Ufi Hagid Tehilatecha. Ufi Hagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chastei Avot V'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Atarav Lehoshia Morid Atal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Samech Noflim Verovei Cholim Umatir Asirim Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Meloch Melech Memit Umechaya Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman Ata L'Hachayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kdoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
May be seated. Let's read together in 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. 178, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom
time for our own personal prayer. You can follow on 179 through 181, choose a reading to reflect upon, or just take some time for your own reflections, your own quiet. We'll come together again at the bottom of 180 in just a short bit.
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru
This is where we take a look in these little handouts that you might have picked up on the way in. And in that middle column, when you open up the handout, you'll see names that have been shared with us. These are folks that have been asking us for a little bit of prayer, a little strength, a little love. And so along with these names, if you would like to share a name out loud, we invite you just to call them out and share them in our space. So for all of those names that we've read, or that we've heard, or that we're holding on to ourselves and in our own hearts, we enter a prayer for healing. Pray for a healing of body and a healing of soul. The text for this prayer is in the handout. When you open it up, it's on the panel all the way to your right. And you'll see at the top, it will say, El na refana la, refana lanu. These are words that Moses called out when he heard that his own sister Miriam was sick. He just said out loud, El na refana la, please God, heal her. Refana lanu is heal all of us. So we invite you to join along.
Dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith. Grant us a perfect healing. Bring peace to all our days. El na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu. Restore our strength of body. Help clarify our minds. Refresh our tired spirits. Rejuvenate our lives. El na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu. Thank you for all these blessings throughout our days and nights. We celebrate the journey, this precious gift of life. El na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu.
So sometimes when we have special occasions, babies, bat mitzvah students, weddings, we have this blessing that we share. And it's the same blessing that we'll share. God bless you. I can do that. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, blessings. So, we have this blessing that's in the Torah, in this Torah portion, and we say it on special occasions, special life cycles, special holy days. We say it in our morning services. And there's also a tradition which I particularly loved, was even sharing it when we have children around us and blessing our children. And so I would think about our Friday night ritual at home and would say after we light candles, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God look kindly upon you, I like to say, and love you unconditionally, that word for grace. And may God reach out to you with tenderness and give you shalom. And it was a really special kind of a thing. Even growing up, our kids received this blessing. And as they got older, they wanted to give it themselves. So they gave it to their American Girl dolls. And then it became to our dogs. So everybody got a blessing. And in the beginning, I was a little uncomfortable with like the doll and the dogs. And I'm like, okay, I'm a rabbi. Should this be kosher? I'm not so sure. But then after a little bit of time, I recognized just how beautiful it was that these little kids wanted to share a blessing, which is really, the older I get, the more clear it is that it's about sharing love. We don't usually think about it that way. I think really at its most essential core is about sharing some love. In the Torah portion, Naso, we see that God is instructing Aaron, who is the first and high priest, right? A priest is an intermediary, and in order to get to God, you go through a priest, right? We don't have priests that are functioning in the Jewish community anymore. They're all unemployed, right? We have rabbis, we have cantors, we have clergy, but the religious leadership is no longer a Kohen, right? A Kohen was that priest. Kohanim is the plural. And Aaron was the first and the high priest. And God says to Aaron and his sons, so the priesthood, this is what you have to say to the people. Now, we don't have a priesthood anymore. So on one level, you would think, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing these words anymore. But the words stuck. They're kind of powerful. It is not just lovely. It's not just beautiful. I think there's something really significant about it. So think about it for a second. The priests had to deliver this blessing to the entire people of Israel. And they were the ones in charge of all of the worship. And their version of worship, of course, was sacrifice. But we also see that in the text in the book of Exodus, there's another teaching that says the whole community should be a kingdom of priests. That doesn't mean that all were going to be responsible to be the ones who are dealing with the tabernacle or later on the temple in Jerusalem, that they were going to be involved with the worship. That wasn't really what they were trying to teach us. They were trying to teach us everybody themselves can model that kind of leadership. And as we entered into modern times, this priesthood idea falls a little out of favor because it's only given from father to son, right? Like in ancient times, you could be a daughter of the Kohen and have certain privileges, but then once that woman was to marry, and that was the expectation very clearly, that then that Kohen status that was still a part of her from her father, it would disappear. Today, there are people rewriting that rule for some, right? Not in traditional circles, but there are some in contemporary circles. We didn't feel like you should only identify in the Jewish community based on who your father is. That doesn't work for a lot of us Reformed Jewish folks. So even today, if you go to a traditional synagogue, you'll see two places where a Kohen is going to have, a certain kind of privilege. One is the first aliyah to the Torah. That is the first blessing. When you read Torah in the morning, Shabbat morning, the first aliyah, the first blessings, Baruch Hu et, remember that? That's reserved for a Kohen. The second aliyah is saved for a Levi. And these reforming Jews of yesteryear said, we shouldn't just do it based on their lineage. That doesn't seem kosher to us. It's not democratic enough. So we let go of that tradition. There's another tradition. We've shared it before. There's a tradition when this prayer is going to be said to a congregation, people who are still Kohanim. And yeah, there are folks who know from their family Hebrew name stories that somebody might have HaKohen or HaLevi in a Hebrew name, like me, that those Kohanim could come up to the bima, take off their shoes, symbolic of standing on holy ground, doing just like what it says in the Torah portion. And they would take a talis, they would cover their faces, so when you bless the community, no one person gets the blessing. It shouldn't be directed at anyone. And they would say, Yivrechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha, and they would share this blessing of peace. But then this reform thing, we were like, why should only they get to do it? It doesn't seem fair. So it becomes something that clergy do. I want to just say one thing about this prayer. I think it was really intentional for it to be special. Because, again, I'm going to say the words to you. The first line is Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. The second line is Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. And then there's a third line. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. There are patterns. The first line in Hebrew has 3 words. The second line has 5 words, and then it moves to 7 words. The pattern of consonants increases from the first line of 15 to the second line using 20, and then to 25. There is a building of a moment, there's a building of momentum. There's even a similar kind of cadence in the syllables. The syllables move from 12 to 14 to 16. This was supposed to be something that was easy on everybody's lips, and they would share it, and they would bless. Now, let's talk about this blessing business for a second. Sometimes we think blessings are sort of like magic. And a magician is in control of whatever comes next. I'm not so sure that's really what we're talking about here. I think when we really look at what's happening, it's not about a magician, because unlike a magician who's the source of the magic, the Kohen is the channel of the blessing, is the conduit to the entire Jewish people. The Kohen is the conduit. The source is the Holy One. And everybody, without exception, receives this blessing. But there's something else that's kind of interesting to me. There's a new book that has just come out by a rabbi named Shai Held. And he calls it, I know this, Judaism is about love. He calls it Judaism is about love. That's the name of his newest book. It's just a few months old. And he talks in it how he thinks that people think that Judaism is only about action. It's about deeds. It's not necessarily what you think, and it's not really what you feel. And some folks find it appealing that it's about the actions and deeds and laws and rules. For others of us, that rule part kind of pushes us away a little bit. But there is something about love that he thinks Jews forget about, or we haven't really been taught, or we've been saying, it sounds too much like another religion, right? We have to get things done, rather than being about love. He talks about grace. Now, I said before, in this blessing, there is an idea of grace in the blessing. The word for grace is chen. Some people know chen as a Hebrew name. Some people know the Hebrew name of Chana. And that Hebrew name means grace. And grace could be unconditional love. But Shai Held, he talks it a little bit differently. He says, when we look at it, it's a gift. For example, the gift of life is an act of grace. The existence of the world is not something that anyone has earned. but we all receive this gift. And that could be an act of grace. God's love for us is grace. It's not something we earn, but something we strive to live up to. So, for me, I wasn't raised with the idea of God's love. I was raised only with the idea that God was waiting for me to fix something that was broken, like the whole world. And that's exhausting. And I don't know how you can do that without some love. Maybe I'm getting older and more mellow. Maybe I'm seeing things more clearly because I've experienced more hardship, and so have you. Whatever it might be, I do think that feeling blessed isn't feeling holier than thou. It is about feeling loved. And we don't let ourselves kind of encounter that so much. So this is what I want to do. And some of you are going to be like, oh, I can't believe he did that. But that's okay. I think we should share a blessing. That Yivarechecha blessing, I don't think it only has to be parent to child. I don't think it only has to be clergy to congregation. I think we can do it a little bit differently. I have the words of that blessing in front of me on this little slip of paper. It's in Hebrew and it's transliterated. If you feel strong enough and bold enough and brave enough that you want to share a blessing with our congregants here in this space, I'm going to invite you to come forward and say this blessing where you can bless each other. And you don't have to know each other to be blessed. In fact, I think it's even cooler if you know nobody here and willing to step forward and share a blessing. Now, the traditional rabbis of old will be like, Fred, you're doing it again. Cut it out. But that's okay by me, because in our 21st century, we need to kind of make a Judaism that's a little bit different than our ancestors. So if you want to share a blessing with this congregation, I hope there's one, then I invite you to come forward and share it, and we'll do it together. The cantors, while people come up, the cantor's going to teach us one word, melody, that we're going to do before and after this blessing. So if you'd like to share the blessing, come forward. Oh, good. Come over here. Actually, stand right in the front.
So this is a simple melody, and I invite you to join me as they're getting settled. So it's shalom, peace, salam. Just follow our lead. Shalom, 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 shalom. You know, I'm here, I'm closer to you, and I don't hear you enough. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace, 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 peace. Salam, 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 salam.
So friends, you're going to say this with me, and you folks are going to receive it and know that you're loved. Are you ready? I'll go slow with you. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Shalom. 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 Peace. 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 Salam. 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 Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Thank you, friends. Thank you. Beautiful. We're going to move to conclude page 586 at the bottom of the page. Yeah. 586 at the bottom of the page. We rise as we are able. We move to Aleinu L'Shabech. We're going to start with the bottom paragraph from 586, and then we jump to 591.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
May be seated. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. If you are observing a yahrzeit, which is the anniversary of one's death, or if you are in a period of mourning, we invite you, if you choose, to rise for a moment, share the name of the one whom you are remembering, and then we'll continue with additional names from our community. So sorry, Joseph.
My older brother, Les, who died 10 years ago.
So sorry. Wayne.
My friend Mary Adela.
My grandfather, Jack Avery.
To all those names we also remember in those first 30 days, Loretta Lukow, the friend of Jules Berner, Karen Blumenthal, the mother of Leah Boonin, Ron Binyamin, the cousin of Etty Young, who was one of the hostages whose body was recovered from Gaza, Avraham Weiser, the brother-in-law of Chedva Gil, Nancy Nechama Cronenberg, the grandmother of Shira Keshet. Louis Bloomfield, the father of Tom Bloomfield. John Brown, the father of Chandra Brown Levy. Sylvia Engert, the grandmother of Lindsay Lev. And those yard sites that we recall for this week that's passed: Audrey Edlis, Pauline Elkinis, Louise Erb, Claire Feiner, William Fogel, Dorothy Frankel, Eva Ginsberg, Gunther Hauptmann, Arlene Zirkin Hildsley, Muriel Koslov, Robert Leaf, Marianne Lehman, Irene Levin, Jesse Levy, Siegfried Mandel, Marvin Marsh, Elihu Modlin, Isidore Moed, Ilya Nemirovsky, Irving Fau, Joe Raznick, William David Reff, Murray Ritter, Nelson Shockett, Pauline Sloat, Wayne Sundell, Israel Tsurkovich, Adele Tunick, Elsie Zakar, and Mildred Zirkin. Kaddish is on 598. We invite you to rise as you are able. Our custom is to say Kaddish standing, to praise God's name, but also to stand shoulder to shoulder, supporting our friends who are mourners this Shabbat, 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, be'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'meru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lalmei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kidisha b'richu. La'ela min kol berachata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'miran be'alma v'meru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'meru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'meru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and all who hurt here and everywhere. We say amen. May be seated, but not Henry. You come here. Henry, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Well, Henry becomes bar mitzvah this Shabbat, and we are really excited for you because we know that you've worked hard. We know that you're going to lead us well tomorrow. We know that you have important words to share from Torah, and it's going to be your Torah. But we also want you to know that you too are loved, not just by your family, but there's a community here, even the folks that you've never met before, who care for you and your family, who feel a connection and want to be responsible for you and your family. We are excited for this moment of becoming, where you get to make your Jewish choices on your Jewish journey matter. And you still have to do what they say, and that's fine. But we are excited to see how your journey continues to unfold. And we have this yad for you to use not just for tomorrow, but for many times. And remember, a yad isn't just to read the Torah. A yad is a hand, right? And there's a hand of a community that's got your back too. Shake my hand.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. No, you can hang on to it.
Okay.
Let's our closing prayer. We'll see it on page 565. I invite you to take a breath. We've been singing this a lot. And I know that these are complicated days, and we often have complicated lives. So we share a prayer for a little strength, and then we'll invite you to bring our prayer books back to those carts, and we'll make a motzi, have a little oneg together.
You'll find the text in the indented space. So it's towards the bottom and it's indented. You got it? Okay, good.
Shabbat Shalom. Wish your neighbors a Shabbat Shalom. Come and thank you to our friends who helped to lead services tonight.